If you're thinking of buying a Hyundai Tucson, you might want to watch this. Now, one of the biggest things that you'll buy in life are your house and probably a car. Whether that's cash or finance, it's a big thing, unless you have a 2-year-old that changes her diet every week. So to help with that decision, we're going to be talking all things design, features, and of course, how it drives. So straight off the bat, we have the Tucson here in ultimate trim, and this color is called Sailing Blue Pearl. Quite a weird one, I know, but I'm going to be honest, out of a few of the colours, this is probably the colour I'd choose. It is an optional extra. I think it's around 700 quid. And now talking about the front end, I'm not going to lie, the word weird doesn't come to mind, but more American. It kind of looks out of place in the UK, which for some people is a good thing because you're driving something unique and special. But look at this, there are tons of lights on this front. You've got 4 on this side, 4 on that side, making 8. And of course you've got some in there. I'm quickly just going to play around with the lights and the indicators and see what actually happens. Right now the lights are in auto. I'm going to put it in side lights. And then this is normal lights, which is at like dip beam. That's full beam. And then that's off. And then back to automatic. And your indicators look like this. And now for me, the rear of this car is where things really get tantalizing. I actually quite like how most manufacturers nowadays are going with this long LED bar. And the 2 lines over here, you've got one on the boot and one on the outer area here, really do make the rear end look quite aggressive. You've got a nice little grey diffuser there with the little twin tail exhaust pipes there. I quite like the rear end. Something that I'm not too sure about is, check this out. When you want to run an indicator, so let's just put both of them on, for example. Both indicators are on. Where's the indicator? Car's behind you, right here. Where is the indicator? Oh, look, they're down there. I told you, there's something about this car that just reminds me of America. So as mentioned, this is the ultimate spec. And between the top spec and the bottom spec, it's only £5,000. So if I was you, I'd do it because there's a lot. Starting off down here with these 19-inch alloy wheels, which in my opinion, they look okay. They're diamond cut, so don't curb them or you're gonna have to paint them all in one color. It needs new tires though, Yokohamas, definitely. We've got the option of heated seats, but we also have the option of ventilated seats. I'm gonna be honest, in every car I've been in or driven, I've never used this function. Let me know if you do. We've also got a heads-up display showing not just the speed, but also the speed limit indicator of the area you're driving through. We've got LED headlights, which really shine bright like a diamond. Trust me. In the back, we've got 2 USB-C charging ports and the ability to adjust the temperature in the back. And out of all of those options, the main one for me is that. Now, the pan roof doesn't really open that wide, I'm not going to lie. But what I do like is, as you can see, it goes all the way back. So people sitting in the back literally have tons of light. And while we're talking spec, in terms of choosing the right colour for your car, you have 8 options, which are all metallic options. You have another option, which I believe is a white for $350, but the other 8 are all around 700 quid. And like I said, the free option is just looks like you're driving Santa's car. So definitely choose one of those colours. But this blue for me, or the green, is what I would be picking. And something that I'm trying not to do is mention other brands, because this car gets compared a lot to the Toyota sounding brand RAV4. The only thing that I really feel is against this is its long lost brother, the Kia Sportage, and the front end of that compared to this. Let me know which one you guys think looks better, but I would have this any day in terms of rear end. The front, I think they're on par, but this might just pip it. Now, in terms of interior space and comfort, there's tons. 5'11", sitting in here, preferred driving position. I'm good. I've got loads of space. I feel very, very comfortable. I've got this huge armrest in the middle. And now in this position, if I go in the back and I had a passenger that was, I don't know, say same height as me, 5'11", I'd get in the back and I'd be loving it in here. Absolutely loving it. Loads of space. Look, I'm touching it and my back is not even, I'm stretched. My back's not even there until I go bang, there's my back. There is loads of space. You've got areas over here. You've got heated seats in the, I didn't even know that. So we've touched on tech in the back. Heated seats in the rear is a win. We've got this fancy blind in the back, which means you don't really need to tint your windows. I know the key's not in the vehicle, but have a look at this. We jump in the whip here. We've jumped in, we've turned on the engine. Everything's rosy. There's a cyclist on your right about to undercut you. So you whack the indicator on and look at that. Yeah, boy. It's got blind spot monitoring, not only here in the side mirror, but also on the screen. Does it work on the left? Of course it does. Look at that on the left. That's quite fancy. Now down here we have 2 USB ports, and of course you have the 12-volt cigarette lighter, which means you have 4 USB ports technically, and this one over here can be used to charge your device, but by pressing that button it switches it to yellow, and that just means you can use CarPlay wired instead of wireless. But for me, I use it wireless because I can literally whack my phone here. Let me show you. So you can see I've whacked my phone here and immediately that light comes on to say it's charging. Once I take it off, the light goes. See, now in terms of this bad boy, it does it all. You've got over here your adaptive cruise control, you've got lane assist and also steering assist, so it can guide you. Don't, like, it's not a Tesla, don't let it drive for you. And over here you can see we've got some special buttons that allow us to go straight to our modes, such as CarPlay when I hold that button, and you can customize that and set that as you want. Something that's quite cool, and I think most people need to know, is if you hold the mute button, it turns off this. Just wait for it, I don't know where it's going to come. There you go. Speed limit function has been selected, so it turns off the noise when you go over the speed limit and just flashes, which is way better than the noise. Not that you go over the speed limit, I don't. You can see we have physical buttons here. This of course is touchscreen, but I like the fact that it's separate, because at one point, I'm not sure if it was Hyundai or Kia, this was in one, so you had to press a button to switch from it being your climate control to your infotainment. So for me, out of all of the trims, the Ultimate is great because it just looks the best and you get the best things, but out of the N-line trims, I prefer them because you get rid of this chrome. As you can see, watermark showing it, it doesn't look the greatest, and I don't know, for me, chrome is dead. Now, in case I haven't told you beautiful people already, this is the 1.6 turbocharged hybrid model, plug-in hybrid, and it's claimed that the battery can give you around 38 miles of range. She was very close. 1.6 turbo, 38 miles claimed range of battery, although we'll touch on this in a bit. It wouldn't be my preferred model. Like, plug-in hybrids are great, but it's just something about how the system is set up on this that doesn't make it my favorite hybrid. Now, one thing to note about these hybrids is that they can get a bit noisy because it normally is a small engine with a big motor, or a big powerful motor that gives it that horsepower, that big number horsepower. But when we put our foot down, it just sounds quite normal, to be honest, which is a good thing. It doesn't sound like it's working overly hard. Of course, it's a 1.6, it's not going to take you to 200 miles an hour in a matter of seconds, but it is quite quiet, and that's in sport mode. And if I flick my wrist just down here, we go back into eco, the dials change quite a bit, make everything look nice and subdued, and we're just cruising around. But for day-to-day tasks, as we are here, just going for a nice Sunday drive, the suspension does the job. The steering feels nice and light. The cyclists are out in full force. As I was saying, comfort does the job. Smoothness does the job, and that quietness when cruising along now is epic. Again, you do have 3 modes. You've got an EV and HEV button down here, and it goes EV, which is full battery. It goes hybrid EV, so it switches between the two, and then I think you've got an auto, but now because I'm on a certain amount of battery, which is quite low, it won't let me switch into any of them. It just keeps it in HEV, which is the hybrid EV mode, which is probably where you'd leave it in most of the time anyway, unless you physically wanted to switch to battery mode. Then of course you can do that. You should be able to have a setting that will allow you to simply run on the engine alone, and then it will charge up the battery, but you can't do that. Going round another roundabout, and no, I'm not in Milton Keynes, but we'll whack it in sport. Actually, it is already in sport. It's in sport, going round the roundabout, and it just grips. And I can actually see the outer wheels are having more of the drive power, which is expected. There we go. Beautiful. So for an SUV, I personally feel you should have all-wheel drive. If you don't need an SUV because you're not going in those conditions. But this sort of car, long family trips, up to Wales, wherever you want to go, if you do encounter any condition changes, you are sorted. Now on this car, surprisingly, there are just two modes day to day. You've got Eco and Sport. And then you also have another button to the right which switches from drive to terrain. So if you went into conditions such as snow, mud or sand, again, there is a mode for that. So as an SUV, it does what it says on the tin. Again, this is the plug-in version, so you get about 38 miles from that. It isn't the greatest when it comes to self-charging because that's not what it's about. It wants you to charge it. The pros of this thing are just the space. Like, I'd be more than happy doing a very long journey or a holiday away using this car. In the front, loads of space for the driver, loads of areas to charge devices and of course carry bits and bobs. These door cards are not the biggest in terms of pockets. That's, yeah, I'm not sure about that, but come on, you've got it all. You've got an electronic tailgate. I think they call it the power tailgate, but again, space is loads. Got my daughter's buggy here, loads of space around here. Oh, what's this? Oh, sorry, little cheeky Yokohama plug. There you go, you know how it is. But yeah, there is tons of space in this thing. And the fact that that engine in there is very quiet when cruising around, and it works really well with the motor, of course with the battery, I don't know, I think 38 miles is more than enough to just carry with you. So is the Hyundai Tucson the best value for money SUV that you can buy brand new today? Let me know in the comments, and while you're there, swipe to the side, press the like button if you've enjoyed it, subscribe and hit the notification bell if you're new to the channel, and I'll see all of your beautiful faces in the next one. Take care and God bless.